Welcome to Intent to Impact Training. My name is Susan Lerman. I'm the Training Director for the Nonprofit Engagement Sector of Impact 100 SRQ. I'm honored to have the opportunity to work with you today. This is an interactive video training which requires you to have a printed copy of the training manual to enable you to follow along and participate in the exercises. The training objectives for today's training. The goal of today's training is to help you understand Impact 100 SRQ's definition of high impact initiative. Begin to create a blueprint for a high impact initiative that you can use to seek funding from us and/or other funders in the community. Design and write a high impact initiative grant. There are 6 elements of a high impact. I'm going to introduce the definition of high impact broken down into 6 elements. We will then go back through them and demonstrate how one of our award recipients, the Children's Cancer Center, demonstrated these high impact elements in their Impact 100 SRQ funded initiative. Let's explore our definition of a high impact initiative. Number 1, it addresses an important community need. Number 2, it addresses the issue in depth. Number 3, it designs an effective way to get a desired result. 4, delivers a significant portion of the affected community. 5, commits to defining, supporting, measuring, and reporting the difference being made for the long haul. And 6, operates in a way that adds value to all constituents involved. Now let's look at how these 6 elements are reflected in the Children's Cancer Center High Impact Grant that was funded by Impact 100 SRQ in 2021. The Children's Cancer Center discovered an important community need. Hear that? An important community need. Comprehensive service delivery to families in Tampa. 30 to 50 families affected by pediatric cancer in Sarasota could not travel to Tampa for services for various reasons, transportation reasons, economy reasons. They set out to address the issue in depth. From family outcomes data, CCC knew the set of proven programs to deliver comprehensively address emotional, financial, medical, psychological, and social support needs. They knew the frequency with which to deliver them. They concluded services would have to be delivered locally if families were going to benefit from them. They figured out how to design an effective way to get their desired result. Hear it? They're looking for results. Establish a satellite office in Sarasota. With the establishment of a satellite office, they could deliver to a significant portion of the affected population. There it is, right there. Significant portion of the affected population. From none of the Sarasota families affected by pediatric cancer to all of the families having easier access to an enhanced quality of life. Expanding services into Sarasota was in keeping with their mission to help children and families to cope with pediatric cancer. CCC committed to defining, supporting, measuring, and reporting the difference being made for the long haul. All 50 targeted families participated. 2 children who had siblings with cancer were placed in the same classroom to provide support for each other. CCC solicits and documents verbal feedback, surveying family members to measure the impact of families' participation. Steady fundraising track record will enable them to sustain the satellite office as donors see the differences it's making for families in Sarasota. The satellite program operates in a way that adds value to all constituents. There's another key factor, value to all constituents involved. Organizationally, the program has low overhead and high reward. The families have woven a local support network comprised of families with shared lived experience that survives even after participation in the program is no longer needed. Families were provided rental and financial assistance, which provided them long-term stabilization. The community is better poised to serve the needs of this more unified network as they come together to give a voice to the needs of families affected by pediatric cancer. Very important points in that if you listen carefully. Now let's look at action versus impact, an introduction. Let's begin by exploring the difference between actions and impacts. Please refer to page 3 in your training manual. What are the characteristics of an action? It's the act of doing something for someone or something. What are the characteristics of an impact? Having a strong effect on someone or something. You do something to someone or something. Here's an example. A new pantry closet is built at the pantry. That's the action. And the impact is 50 precariously housed people could apply their income to rent rather than food. Action and impact. In your manual, take 5 minutes to answer these 2 questions. What are the characteristics of an action? What are the characteristics of an impact? Action versus impact. Pause your video to answer these questions. When ready, resume your video. Welcome back. Please refer to pages 4 and 5 in your training manual. Now let's get a little deeper into this. Beginning on page 4, you'll see a list of items. Each one is an action or an impact. If it's an action, write a potential high impact. Pause your video to complete the table in your manual. When ready, resume your video. When you resume your video, I will provide you the answers. Number 1 is an action. Number 2 is an impact. Number 3 is an impact. Number 4 is an action. Number 5 is an impact. Number 6 is an action. Number 7 is an impact. Number 8 and 9 are both actions. Number 10 is an impact. Number 11 is an action. Now remember, some of them can be an action or an impact. Don't worry about it. You're just learning the difference between actions and impacts. Let's review the difference between an action and an impact. An action is an activity, an act of doing something. An impact is a result, having a strong effect on someone or something. Now, let's apply this to your nonprofit. The following activity will focus on your agency. Please refer to page 6 in your training manual. Identify an existing program of your agency or a new program that you're thinking about. Provide a list of several actions for this program and then write the impact each action will have on the population served by your agency or the community it will benefit. Think about the CCC example as you begin to write. Pause your video to complete the table on page 6 of your manual. When ready, resume your video. Existing program or new program actions. Write a high impact for each action on your list. This activity is your opportunity to identify high-impact results for your grant application. Did you identify an expanding or an existing program or developing a new program? Now we can address what are the steps you need to take to accomplish the actions and impacts you listed on the previous activity. This activity is called the Blueprint for New or Expanded Program, and is found in your training manual on page 7. Blueprint activity. Next, list the steps you need to take to accomplish the actions and impacts you listed on the previous activity. In the last column, list who needs to be involved in the activities and in what way. Also, estimate when the activities need to happen. So this is the who and the what. Pause your video to complete the table on page 7 in your manual. When you've completed the table, please resume your video. Please see page 8 of your training manual for important considerations for applying for an Impact 100 SRQ grant. Thank you so much for attending this training. Use what you've learned in this Intent to Impact training to develop your grant application. Have fun, make it meaningful.